Hello students, today we are going to study about human reproduction. Firstly, let us know about human reproductive system. The sexes are separate in human beings with the sexual dimorphism. Means that the males and females in case of human beings are having different physical appearance. Their body structure differs. There are two types of sex organs, the primary sex organs and the secondary sex organs. Primary sex organs are responsible for the production of gametes as well as the secretion of sex hormones. While the secondary sex organs do not directly play any, they help in the transfer or not play any major role in reproduction. In case of males, the primary sex organ is testis, while in case of female, the primary sex organ is ovary. The secondary sex organs in case of male are prostate glands, seminal vesicle, vas deferens, epididymis, and penis. While in case of female, the secondary sex organs are fallopian tube, uterus, vagina, and mammary glands. There are certain external characteristics which define that the male is sexually mature. So these are low pitch voice, beard, broad shoulder, and narrow hips. While in case of female, the external sex characters are high pitch voice, smooth face, narrow shoulder, and broad hips. Now we move on to the male reproductive system. There are four major parts of male reproductive system. The first one is testis, second one is vas deferens, third one is urethra, and the fourth one is the penis. We'll start with testis first. So there is a pair of testes present in case of human males, and these testes are present outside the abdominal cavity within a pouch known as scrotum. There is a reason why they are placed separately outside the abdominal cavity. The reason behind is that scrotum helps them in maintaining low temperature. This low temperature helps in sperm production. They require 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lower temperature than the normal body temperature, which is necessary for the production of sperm or the process of spermatogenesis, in which sperm production takes place. So this was where the testis is located. This was a location of testis, you can say. Now we move on to the structure of testis. Testis is surrounded by three layers of tissues. What are those three layers? Tunica vaginalis. Now let us move on to the structure. This is the structure of testis. So the testis is surrounded by three layers of tissues. Okay. First one is tunica vaginalis, first one. Second one is tunica albuginea, and the third one is tunica vascularis. Tunica vaginalis is the outermost covering. Tunica albuginea is the middle covering, while tunica vascularis is the inner network of capillaries present inside. This is the tunica vaginalis outer covering, tunica albuginea middle, and the vascularis is present inside, which is containing the tuft of capillaries. Now we'll talk about how the internal structure of testis is being formed. So each testis consists of around 250 compartments, which are known as testicular lobules. So these are the testicular lobules which are present. There are around 250 compartments known as testicular lobules, and each of these testicular lobules consists of 1 to 3 coiled structure which is known as seminiferous tubule. So these coiled structures are known as seminiferous tubule. Inside these seminiferous tubules, the cells are two types of cells are present. First one is the germ cell and the other one is the Sertoli cells. The germ cell is responsible for production of sperm, while the Sertoli cell is responsible for the nutrition. Sertoli cell is responsible for providing nutrition to the germ cell. Okay. So germ cell produces sperm and Sertoli cell provides nourishment to the germ cell. Now, this is the region known as seminiferous tubule, and you can see there is the small gap present between, small spaces in between the testicular lobules. These spaces are known as interstitial spaces, and these interstitial spaces produces the cell which is known as Leydig cells. And these Leydig cells are responsible for production of the male sex hormone which is known as testosterone or androgens. So we have seen inside the testis, seminiferous tubules are responsible for production of sperm due to the presence of germ cell, and the interstitial spaces consist of Leydig cell which is responsible for production of male sex hormone testosterone. Now we'll move on to how the transfer of these sperms which is being formed in large quantity is being carried. How these sperms are being carried. So the sperms produced by seminiferous tubules are carried to the rete testis, and rete testis carries it to the vas efferentia. Vas efferentia carries it to the epididymis. Vas efferentia carries it to the epididymis. In epididymis, these sperms remain for some period of time and unless they get matured. So epididymis is responsible for maturation of sperms. Here the sperms get matured, and after epididymis, after these sperms get mature enough, they are being transferred to the vas deferens. We'll again revise the entire structure. Let us see. Testis is surrounded by three layers: tunica vaginalis, tunica albuginea, and tunica vascularis. Tunica vaginalis, tunica albuginea, and tunica vascularis, which is forming the tuft of capillaries. Okay. Now, there are around 250 compartments which is known as testicular lobules. So, these are the testicular lobules. Inside these testicular lobules, there are 1 to 3 coiled structure which is known as seminiferous tubules. These seminiferous tubules produces two types of cell, one male germ cell and another one is Sertoli cells. Male germ cell is responsible for production of sperm while Sertoli cell is providing nourishment to the germ cell. Now, after the seminiferous tubule, there is certain small spaces present in between each of the testicular lobules. These spaces are known as interstitial spaces and they consist of Leydig cells which are responsible for production of male sex hormone. Now, the sperms which are being produced by seminiferous tubule are transferred to rete testis first. Then they move on to vas efferentia, and after that they are transferred to epididymis where they get matured, and after the maturation they are transferred to the vas deferens. Now we'll talk about the function of testis. So this was the entire structure of testis. The main function of testis is that it produces the male gamete, that is the sperm, as well as it produces the male sex hormone, that is testosterone. Now we move on to the vas deferens. Vas deferens, as you can see in the diagram, is a long tube-like structure which is elongated enough and is starting from epididymis and moves on to the urethra, moves till the urethra region. It starts from epididymis and is carried till the urethra region. It carries the sperms which the epididymis transfers to it, and it carries the sperms to the urethra region. Now we move on to the urethra region. Urethra is around 18 to 20 centimeter long, and it starts from the urinary bladder and extends throughout the penis, and at the end it transfers its secretion to the through the urethral meatus, through the last opening, which is known as, this opening is known as urethral meatus. Urethra is 18 to 20 centimeter long, extending from urinary bladder and extends throughout the penis, and it carries its secretion through the last opening known as urethral meatus. Now urethra receives the secretion from 3 accessory glands. What are those 3 accessory glands? Let's see. First one is seminal vesicle, another one is prostate gland, and the third one is bulbourethral gland or Cooper's gland. They also pour their secretion in the urethral region. So what are those secretions and how do they help in the process of transfer of sperm? Let us talk about it. Seminal vesicle lies at the junction of vas deferens and prostate gland. So this was a location of seminal vesicle. Two things we are going to talk about the accessory glands. First thing is their location and the other thing is their function. So this was a location of seminal vesicle. Now we move on to its function. So seminal vesicle is responsible for lubricating the sperm. They lubricate the sperm and helps in easy transfer by adding the seminal fluid to it. And the seminal fluid which they are adding also helps in providing nourishment to the sperm, as they are rich in, as the seminal fluid is rich in fructose, citrate, ascorbic acid and certain other enzymes as well. So the two major functions of seminal vesicle is that it helps in lubrication of sperm as well as it provides nourishment to it. Now we move on to another accessory gland, which is the prostate gland. The prostate gland lies in the pelvic cavity around the first part of urethra, while its major function is that it adds the alkaline fluid. What is the reason for adding the alkaline fluid? So that the semen can counteract the acidity, the acid content of the urine during the copulation in the vagina. It also nourishes the sperm as it is rich in enzymes like protease and amylase. So the two major functions of prostate gland is that it provides alkaline fluid to neutralize the acidity in the female vagina during copulation as well as to provide nourishment to the sperm. The third accessory gland is the Cooper's gland or bulbourethral gland. It is situated beneath the bladder and behind the urethra. Its major function is that it acts as a lubricant it adds the lubricant to the glans penis due to the seminal fluid it adds, and the seminal fluid also neutralizes any of the urine which is present in the urethra. Now we move on to the fourth part of the male reproductive system, which is the penis. So penis is known as the male copulatory organ. After urethra, we have moved on to penis now. This is the entire structure of penis. Now we will talk about each and every part of the structure. So penis is a muscular organ which has erectile tissues and vascular spaces. When these spaces get filled with the blood, it makes the penis erect. The tip of the penis is enlarged and it is known as glans penis. As you can see here, the tip of the penis is enlarged and it is known as glans penis. And the outer covering of the penis is known as foreskin or prepuce. Why penis is known as the male copulatory organ? Because it takes part in the copulation and is responsible for transferring the sperm into the female vagina. So these are the four major parts of male reproductive system.